Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Z2, and I'm back with another video. I'm back with another video. As you can see, I look slightly different, not much, but like got my drew cone, got my little, I don't know what it is in English. I think it's like a shawl, but in a bai. I got my long sleeve top to cover my shoulders, and obviously the trip, the Zulu Rolex, you know what it is. So I'm dressed like this purely out of respect, because of the topic, the nature of this video. It requires me to be quite dressed respectfully, according to my culture, and so that's why I got all these. That's why I'm fully covered. Even at the bottom, I'm wearing ibai. So yeah, that's why I'm like this. Also, last year, I was working. I was at Para. I was working, doing my usual stuff, working at the plantation. And then I was taking this guy's blood, and he was a sangoma, like full on sangoma, and like I saw that, and I was like, okay, whatever. Took his blood, and then when I finished taking his blood, he says to me, when you're done with your work, before you leave, please can you come to me? I'm like, yo, niggas. Like you're so used to niggas always like trying their luck and trying to hit on you while you're working and stuff and whatever, or flirting. So I thought that was the case. Whatever. So I go to him. Homeboy tells me my whole life story. Not my whole life story, but like says a lot of things. And then in the end, but like, it's not really like I hear him, but like nothing shocking came out of that. Then in the end, he's like, and do you actually we asked good to I asked if he said sangoma, I'm not sure, but it says, you know that you're gonna be that, right? I was like, I literally laughed. Like I think the whole world heard me, because I was like like, who, me? Mina? He's like, yes, but that's not your focus right now. For now, let's do what we discussed for you to do to sort that situation out. And then, yeah, we'll figure out the other things later. I see it. Okay, sir. If you say so, haha. Like me, guys. Like me, guys. I struggle speaking Zulu like fluently, full on. So why would y'all choose? Why would you choose me? Like that? No, cool. Outside of him, afterwards, I had about 3 people, other people prophesying, whatever, that I'm gonna be a sangoma or mtandazi, and 5 people, if I'm including myself, because then I started getting dreams. So there's a lot of signs with this things, with callings and stuff. So dreams are a big one, and what you dream in the dream is a big one. So a lot of the time people will dream of a waterfall. Zulu. I'm butchering that pronunciation, but anyway, waterfall, or sea, the ocean, just a pool of water. Some people will visualize, see themselves going back to high school, or going to school in the uniform, which is generally like a sign of, you're going to go to school, but like not that type of school. Some people dream of their actual ancestors. Like for me personally, I dreamed my actual ancestors, like they be having meetings with me, like they'd be discussing things. I wouldn't really remember when I wake up, but like there would be a full-on meeting. If they're angry with me, they're angry with me. If they're happy with me, they're happy with me. Like it was full-on. Like I have meetings with them. What else? Then you start seeing like beads. So I saw these beads way before I even started this. Before I went into my ceremony and stuff. I saw these beads long time ago. Nespandla, Gonke, I saw it all. Ipai, you see yourself wearing amapai, like your amapai yako, like yeah, you see yourself amapai. I saw myself a lot of times with that. Chickens, like it was, yeah. There's a lot, so there's a lot of signs, and then you get headaches. You can get headaches. I only started getting headaches like towards the latter stage of my journey. Started getting really, really bad headaches, guys. And they say that those headaches that are like you can't do anything, and like people, when you tell people, I have a headache, they just think it's just like a normal headache. Like you can drink painkillers and it's gone. That's what with my mom. Sorry, mom. But that would be my mom. Like take painkillers or whatever. Hey, gets me. And that's how I know this headache is not physiological. It's not a headache. You would see like there's something wrong with my body's condition. This is a spiritual headache. But fine, just to appease her, I'll take chin pain, chin pain. Yeah, chin pain yung buka kanje. I'll just waste my painkillers, so I stopped. I stopped. And generally I get headaches because I'm being told about something that I don't know about. So as soon as I find out that thing, my headaches disappear. But yeah, so you get headaches. Then mental health. I don't know if you've watched my previous video on mental health, but if you haven't, get into it. You start struggling with mental health. And you go, naturally, I think we grew up in a very westernized society, so naturally, when you're not alright, you like, I probably need a psychologist, I probably need therapy. Which in some cases is true. In other cases, it's not. It's a spiritual thing. It's not an actual a pathological problem in your neurobiochemistry. It's an actual spiritual thing and that you need to attend to. So first instinct as a young person is, let me see a therapist. And then obviously therapist is just a psychiatrist and get medication, whatever. Medication is very good. Sometimes it works. For me, it worked in the beginning and then it stopped working. And it stopped working. So you start to lose your mind, guys. I can't explain to you. This is like, I'm being very vulnerable right now. I cannot explain to you what goes on in your psyche. It's no longer, there's a depression part and there's that. Cool. But then there's the psychosis. Like, you literally feel like you are going crazy. But you're aware that you're going crazy. So it's not really like schizophrenia or whatever. Like, it's not really proper psychosis because you're aware of yourself. You're aware, I shouldn't do that. Like, because your body wants to do certain things. It wants to, I won't go into that. But you start wanting to do things that don't make sense. You'll be laying in bed and your mind is going crazy and you start walking around the house. I was like, and you're trying to control yourself. Like, so your mental state really, really, really changes. Like, they come for you. And then for me, then that starts affecting your schoolwork, all of that stuff, obviously. So I started, it became very, very difficult, and I always attributed it to depression. But it became very, very difficult for me to go to school. Like I said, for me to wake up and go shower and go to school, it became very difficult to eat. It became very difficult to talk to people, to converse with people. I always felt alone, even though I have gang people around me. I always felt so alone. It's like I feel so lonely, but I don't want them near me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, no one cares about me, whatever, but like, I also don't want them near me. Like, the underground gang, I don't know if I'm right for saying that. So, let me use proper words. The ancestors generally don't like people, to be quite honest. Abamthanda abantu umuntu everywhere nje wena undabangani la. So they start dropping friends. The relation mjolo where's drop like this. You pray once, they drop the nigga immediately. Like, they don't want them, so you tend to be alone. Long story short, in a space of about 2 to 3 months, because it's only April now, in a space of January, February, March, April, I was basically home. So in those 3 months, I went from just thinking I have depression and it's difficult to having the worst experience of my life, like having spiritual attacks. All my dreams, they were terrible dreams. I started getting dreams about family secrets, and I personally don't like that, because as much as phakathi mina nginedlozi, okay, mina personally, I'll go into it later. I don't have it. My idlozi isn't as strong. It's tune. As much as personally, I'm actually an old person. Mina. In real life, no one sees me as that. They see a 22-year-old. So I can never have any say when it comes to. Ooh. I don't even know if this was recording the audio, but anyway, you can never really have much say and much authority in such things. So then it becomes difficult to because that's literally the position I've been in, and I'm like, but again, and who gonna listen to me? I'm just a child. But in that point, akhulumi mina, kukhuluma ugogo mina, nomkhulu abang mina, like, who's trying to fix things, and mina, but they're trying to do it through me, and mina, I'm just a child. So then, it's quite tricky. So yeah, that's been that. So they affected my schoolwork so much so that I had to take a temporary leave of absence. If I told y'all the state I was in, I fought so hard. I should have never even started this year, to be quite honest. I was a mess. You think you know what a mess is? I was a mess. Like, outside, worse. Inside, like in private space, like I was a mess. I should have never started school. I started contemplating a temporary leave of absence, but I was like, no, like I'm in my final year. Like, I need to push. I got to fight. Like, my mom has worked so hard. I need to fight. And they were not having it. They have been very clear this year. We're not having it. Like, it's not happening. Towards the end, like in my second block, they showed me flames. They were like, the way they showed their anger and showed how much they don't want me here in school right now, because what happens is abayithandi into econsumer isikhathi sakho edistractayo. Yingakho ubona nasemjolweni nasebanganeni nani ukuthi bayabahambisa babasuse ngoba babona ngazuthi lo muntu uthi when distracted ngalo muntu so focusa kulo muntu asafocus emsebenzini wakho your spiritual work, you know what I mean? So medicine school is a huge focus for me. I don't got time. I don't even have a weekend. I like most times I come back at nights because I'm on call, you know what I mean? Like that takes a lot of your time, and they weren't about that life. They were just like, no. So they acted out a lot. I think if I had my clinical partner here, she would tell you. If I had my clinical partner here, she would attest to how much what was happening. Like guys, I would collapse out of nowhere. They check my vitals, everything's great, everything's on point. Like I had eaten the whole day. Like I would just collapse. Or I'd feel myself collapse, and then if I remember I found a chair that day because now I'm used to the fact that they like to make me sick when I'm working and like to make me collapse. So I quickly grabbed a chair and I was shaking all over. Mind you, I'm not sick. I'm not nothing. I ate, like everything's good. I was shaking all over inside in my head, my feet. I couldn't stand up because my feet were doing this, like they were like. So now they don't know what to do because everything's normal. Like it doesn't make sense why this person's acting like this. So I was collapsing a lot at work. I was being tormented by doctors. I just struggled a lot, like. And I'm not that person, but I just struggled. Like they set up things in such a way, my ancestors set up things in such a way that they're trying to show that I don't want. The day I finally decided that, you know what, it was just before we were about to ride. The day I decided that, yeah, no, taking a leave of absence, a temporary leave of absence, and I'm not writing the exams that are following up. I'm leaving. When I decided that, and I truly believed it, because I had been contemplating it, but now I had decided, and I was like, I have to do it, because that was the hardest decision of my life, if I'm being honest, because I'm an academic. That's all I've been. That's all I did. So my identity is very my identity is about very much attached to my academics. So I was very upset because I try not to cry. I was very upset because my whole life I've done well my whole life, got through university seamlessly, and now seamlessly, no failures. Like now I'm in my final year and y'all telling me I got to stop. Y'all telling me I need to leave? That, like, it was so hard because I'm right at the end. And even now, I'm taking a temporary leave of absence. I'm gonna come back in a few weeks. Even now, though, I still don't know if I'm even allowed, like, if they'll let me. I'm just hoping they do, but I don't know if they'll let me go to school. So that's also scary. So it just sucks that on my part, I've done nothing in terms of not graduating in record time. But now I'm not going to graduate in record time, not because of my own incompetencies, but because of spiritual things. So it's very, very hard for me. But I'm learning to accept. So as a result, I'm on a temporary leave of absence, and I'm reflecting on a lot of things. In the first week, I had a ceremony. Okay, now to explain something. This video, by the way, is not to educate people on African spirituality. Like, if you want that, go to Google or YouTube some other people. For me, it's talking about my journey in African spirituality. So one of the months, I think it was March or February, I'm not really sure, because things had gotten so out of hand and I was literally losing my mind, being hlanya. I had to come home, and my mom was like, there's this deacon of this church, there's this deacon of this church that a friend of mine says is really great, and like it's gonna pray for you and help you, and you're gonna be fine. So mid-block, I literally left like mid-block. I remember, yeah. I remember the day before I was on call, and then I left. That same day, when I was post call, I left. I went to Durban. So I come here. I literally left mid block to be prayed for. Like that's what I came here for. And you know, black parents. Bangtanazele, bangbusise. Yeah, those were the vibes. And I was like, okay, it's fine. I do a lot of things I do to, appease my mom. So I knew her. She would that's what she wants. Even though I wasn't convinced, because guys, he wasn't the first person to try and pray for me. Like I've had multiple people trying to pray for me and stuff. I've had enough. Like I was like, I'm very tired. So, but she really wanted me to do it, so I left. I was like, cool, I'm gonna come there. So he comes in the house, and then so ngibingelele, because it's vagash, whatever. Ngibingelele, and he sits down, and then as we're like, it's not massive, it's up and down, it's organizing double, like there were things we had to do, so it's up and down, Jay. He calls me Ati. It's Tulele. Well, he calls me Slay Queen. So Ati, Slay Queen. I don't want to go into that nickname, but anyway, Ati Slay Queen. What's that? I sit down. And I'm like, hi. So then he tells me, he's like, I'm looking at you, and like, I'm like, the purpose that I'm here for isn't really what the problem is. The problem is you have a calling. When like you mean to be a sangoma. He tells me my whole life. He told me my whole life. He told me what I do at school. Like when I tell you, he told me what I do at school, and what I do in my room, the thoughts I have in my room, how I act when I'm not okay, everything, my thoughts, like everything, like that man told me things. I was like, how the hell do you know that? Like, how do you know my thoughts? Like, fine, not going, but my thoughts, my nigga, like he knew everything, and he's like, the problem here is that you need to attend to your calling. And I've been knowing that I have to attend my calling, but like I just didn't know what the step is. I've been knowing I have a calling. I've been told by other people and myself. I've seen it in my dreams enough times, but like the way he put it, it was crazy. Like there was no ways you can not believe him, because he went to details. He wasn't general, because sometimes these people can be like, spiritual people can be like very vague. No, he went into detail. I was like, damn, okay. So then he tells me that, but he still prayed for me. And then we decided that when I come back from my holidays, we're gonna have the ceremony. Ceremony like to start practicing African spiritualism. Cool. Initially, the thought was ginedlozi, like ginedlozi, and I'm gonna be sangoma. Of which I do have ginedlozi, but after when we were doing the process, starting the process, they realized, yeah, nginedlozi, but nginesithunywa, and the isithunywa sami is way stronger than idlozi lami. So it's a matter of I have both things. I have both, but isithunywa is way more advanced in me. So isithunywa sami is like, he or she is ready to work. Like, they're ready to work. So they're far ahead to my ancestors. So isithunywa is essentially a messenger of God. Like, messenger of God. So bengibona mina angisoni sangoma at all. Angisoni sangoma, mina ngumthandazi. That's what, like, that's the label. Ngumthandazi, angisoni sangoma. Yes, isithunywa sami so isithunywa sami umuntu isithunywa umuntu who has lived before. Generally, maybe I'm getting it wrong, because I'm paraphrasing a lot, but isithunywa, someone who lived before, and was a very religious person and was healing people, etc. But yeah, if he enters my body, because before I even get the signs of that I have a calling, they have a meeting before. The underground gang, the ancestors, they have a meeting. They discuss who they're going to choose, and they chose me. So yeah, so they chose me. And then once they select who they're going to go into, they select who out of all of them, the underground gang, because there's obviously gang of them, they choose ukuthi ubani ozowenza lo msebenzi bazongena kumina, ozosebenzisana nami, bazobe isithunywa sami. Then they make the decision, and then it's like, okay, nasi isithunywa. So mina nginesithunywa, which is a messenger from God. So how I work is, isangoma sibona ngedlozi. They use idlozi ukubona. They pray kwidlozi kakhulu, I think uphehla, like uphehla noma ukuphahla. Why am I getting it wrong? But anyway, they do that. They mainly work with idlozi, whereas I am umthandazi, which is essentially in translation, it's a prophet, or prophetess, if you wanna, so I'm a prophet. So I prophesize. So I do it through the Holy Spirit. So what I see, I'm being told by isithunywa sami, which is a messenger from God. So they receive messages from God and some information from the underground gang. So he works with both, but mostly God. I don't know if I'm making sense. And then he speaks to me, and then he lets me know and makes me see what I need to see. So if I come to you randomly, sawona umoya ongcwele uthi angikutshene ukuthi XYZ. Am I making sense? So yeah, so I'm not a sangoma. So angeke ngithwase or anything. I am umthandazi. I pray. Like, guys, I pray. Like, I pray. I have to pray. Maybe one day I'll show you, like, no, actually I would never. I nearly said I'll show you my Sam. No, I mean, it's gorgeous. Sam with the setups of my candles and my cross. Like, it's a whole setup. Like, it's a different world, which is why I don't like recording in my room. This is like the guest room. This is the guest room. That's why I don't really like recording with sit down videos in my room, because there's a lot of spirits in my room. Because that's sawabizela lapho. There are spirits in my room, so I don't want them to disturb me or anything. So that's why I always, if I'm sitting down and actually having a long video, I come here just so that I'm not disturbed, because yeah, they be having fun in my room. Hey, the other day, oh, actually, let me not talk about it, but yeah, they're out and about. So yeah, that's that. I'm a bit insecure about my powers, so when I see something, it's very I find it very hard to disclose that. So the problem is, there's Zitu, there's Ustulele, and then there's Istunywa Sami. Istunywa Sami siyabona, and it tells me, and I'm just a vessel. Zitu is just a vessel. Zitu knows nothing. Homegirl is dumb AF. She knows nothing about people's spiritual lives and their problems and what's holding them back, whatever. She knows nothing. But it's Tunywa, they do. So the Tunywa comes and tells me and says, girl, you need to tell them. And then I sit there, I'm like, how? Like, that's, how do I tell someone that XYZ are betraying you, you need to watch out? Or la, you need to watch out. Or you know what I mean? Like, because normally it's bad news. Very rarely good news. So how do I tell people in Dabazabo that they've never discussed with me, never divulged with me? Like, so now I'm stuck with, I'm struggling with owning Istunywa Sami and genuinely doing what it asks me to do, versus doing what Zitu wants to do, because Zitu just wants to surmise, and not say anything, and not intrude in people's lives, and not say anything. But the thing is, even when you try and not say anything, it keeps annoying you. Like, it keeps annoying you. Like, you don't become settled. Like, you're not settled at all, at least from my experience so far. You're not settled. You're just like, I need to tell them. I need to tell them. So I'm struggling with that. But I do, like, I have told everyone that I've seen for, and in some ways true. So I mean, like, when you tell a person and you get a good response and they validate what you're saying, it does feel good and it does increase your confidence. Because I'm a beginner, like, it's quite difficult for me to, like, really believe that I can't do that. Like, I can tell you your business. So yeah. And right now I'm trying, it's a life update. Since the life update video, I still have to update, like, I don't know how I'm going to incorporate this with school. Like I was saying before, I don't even know if they'll allow me. I have a very, very deep fear with that. And I'm hoping that this leave of absence will give me the rest that I need, will give me the time that I need to practice my gift and everything, to unyusa amandla esithunywa sami, because that's very important. So right now, that's what the biggest thing I'm working on. So that's very important. Want to learn to communicate better with Bami, and there's a lot of things. The process that I underwent, it was a week. Yeah, it was a week. It was the hardest thing of my life. I think the only thing that's been harder than that is trying to get my degree, of which I still haven't gotten. But anyway, it was the hardest thing. Like, it takes, oh guys, I got it. Like, if I told you the things I went through, you guys would be shocked. The things, it's so intense, and the things you see, the things you experience, what you feel, It is so hard. Like, it is so hard. At some points, I genuinely thought I was gonna die. Like, I was in that zone, I'm like, I'm going to die. Not even at some points. There was 2 points where I was like, listen, I'm gonna yeah, frustrate. The first one, I endured. I was like, no, just keep going. Like, I was crying in tears, and I was like, just keep going, keep going. But I was in tears. The second one, I literally ran away. I got there and I had a feeling. I have a feeling what's about to happen because I could feel what is happening right now. I won't divulge. I don't want to divulge too much into these things out of respect for my ancestors. But I got there and I was like, I know what's about to happen, and I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna die. I was like, I'm not gonna die. I still have to do that thing actually. I can't go back to school without doing that thing. I don't know where in the world I'm gonna get the courage to do it because that was the scariest thing of my entire life. When I tell you I was shaking, my knees were shaking, I couldn't even stand. I had to kneel down and came out there crying. And they're like, "Why are you crying?" I'm like, "I'm not going in there. It's not safe for a young lady like me." But anyway, I know this video is very vague. It's very vague. Hopefully, as time goes by and I have a better understanding of everything and have more experience with things, I will speak more in details. But I just try and be respectful towards my ancestors, and I try to be respectful towards uNkulunkulu, nengilosi zami, especially ingilosi zami because they're quite close to me. They're literally everywhere I go. So I try to be respectful and not reveal secrets and not reveal things. So I'm sorry if you felt it was vague. But yeah, that's it from me. Please like, subscribe, and become part of the notification gang. That way you don't miss out on anything. And comments down below. Okay? Thank you so much for watching and listening to this video. I know it's very long. So if you made it to the end, shout out to you. You're a real one. Shout out to you. Thank you so much.